One is called static partition, and one is a dynamic partition. Now, static partition, in my understanding, is predefined. When you create table, at that time you create static partition. Dynamic partition, when data comes in, it check the condition, and based on that, it will go to partition. So partition is nothing but the data which you have, you slice data based on certain field. It can be state, it can be country, it can be year, or it can be quarter. Benefit, partition means you run next query, you are running subsets of data, so it will be faster. So example, when I was in Sears, we partition based on state. So if I'm partitioning, Illinois data will go in one location, New York data will go in one location, Michigan data will go in one location. What will happen? If Illinois users are running query, their result will come faster because they are more focused on Illinois, and Michigan data will. So partition instantly improve your performance. For select query, partition is important, especially Hive is a data warehouse. Data warehouse means if you use query against United States, you will have billions of records. And if you run that, it will take minutes. But if you run similar table and you slice based on the state, which we call partition, then your query will run in less than a few seconds. So from minutes, second. So partition is always good. In database world, this technique has been there for many years. Oracle supports, MySQL supports. Partition improve performance. Now, why do we do that? Because performance. But there is a steps you have to follow in order to do partition. So I'm going to walk you through. So I have a nice diagram here. So first, there are two types of partition. One is static partition, one is dynamic partition. So please understand, this is like an example. I have partition, which is a static. So if you here, table name is cells. I have a couple of columns, ID, product name, and amount. However, I'm saying there will be a few columns, which is year and month, and that is the partition. It means what? I will have first, like example, data comes like 2001, it will create a directory. 2002, it will create a directory. 2003, it will create a directory. Makes sense or not? And then in 2001, January will be subdirectory. February will be subdirectory. Pretty cool, right? So if you are looking for January, it will go very small set of data. So your result will come faster. If you run query on 2001, it will still get data from 2001. Only way it is bad if you want all years data, which is not going to happen. But if it happens, you have to wait for days. I'm sorry, kidding. You have to wait for a couple of maybe hours or sometime 30 minutes because you are talking about trillions of rows. So please understand, partitions you have to design based on how you're using it. So in CS majority time, we are focusing on dimension and measure, dimension will be store, dimension may be state, dimension may be quarter. So those related partition we create. So when we run query, we mostly run query against state. Make sense? Again, if you feel like this partition is not working, you can create another table, create a new partition. Remember, we are in data analysis world, not a transaction world. So data analysis world, no one care about. You're the only one there who can create tables and create this. So it's not the end of the world in case if you make mistakes. Remember, we are in OLAP. In OLAP, you can create table, only you know. There is no real customer. Your real customer is only reporting team. And you can educate them. Subset of people, like 5 or 6 people will be there waiting for your table. It's not OLTP. If it is OLTP, it's a big deal. Let me repeat. If you do the same partition in OLTP, it's a big deal. Why? Because once data is partitioned, it's pretty difficult to change. And partition normally takes time, long time, sometimes even hours. So your downtime will increase. It means real customer will be impacted. So in database world, you do partition a lot more thinking. In OLAP, you can do partition as many table. You can create another table, new partition. That's completely fine because in a OLAP or big data, space is not a big problem, right? OLTP space is a problem because you have limited space. It will create a performance problem. Here in big data, performance is not a problem because if you need performance, you add more machine. So it's a totally different use case in big data. It's all about read heavy. Okay. So now I understand that whichever partition I want, those columns should be partitioned by. Whichever column I'm not partitioning, go here. So if somebody asks how many columns you have, you total 5 columns you have. How many columns you have? 5. But 3 columns you will be writing as a data, and 2 columns you will create as a directory. Oh, very good. I learned hard way. I was thinking these are data, but these are the directory. Please understand, this is something very new to me at that time. I was thinking why my data is not there. But they're saying January is January. Why would I write hundreds of times or millions of times January? Do you guys agree or not? Make sense or not? Every record comes to Illinois. Every record comes. Why would I write Illinois millions of times when I know that the directory contains only Illinois? So there are structured way this works, and it took me time to understand because I was thinking why my data doesn't have this country, why my data doesn't have, but it creates a nice, beautiful directory. You will see that and you will get it. I understand. It's pretty easy. Now, so you can see here, as you define your partition, it will create your directory like that. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. It creates that. So if you run this command, it will create this directory. Now, your two choice. Please understand, partition is nothing but you can create manually, or you can run this command and create a partition. Partition is nothing but subdirectory. Okay, I understand directory in a Hive. So what should I do? So two choice. If you already know that Illinois data coming or 2001 data coming, you can particularly use put command with the proper partition directory. Make sense or not? So far you're using user, home, so user, root, and then you're using customer. Instead of customer, you write this thing, year 2023. So you know the put command and you're using this directory here. It means your data will go there. Now we can debate, how would I know? Of course you know, right? Because you are the one who is processing data. So you know that's a 2021. So you know that all data will go to 2021. But then what's the benefit? A read benefit, not a write benefit. A write time, you have to do all heavy lifting. You have to get all the data. You can use like peak for filter. You can say filter year 2023 and create a file, or you can use split command and create a file. So you have to do all those massage for write. But when you write, you are writing to particular partition, then anyone run query, they get benefit. Remember, write, no one knows about it. Write once, read more. So you can write put command and write data to there, or you can use Hive command. So Hive will read and write it. So I'm going to show you both ways. It's a pretty good exercise. If you pay attention, you will understand. It's not going to take more than 30 minutes. It's a wonderful exercise. I did for CS, and I will tell you, before partition, it used to take 30 to 40 minutes. With partition, it was taking less than a minute. So you can see how much time we were saving. So partition is amazing thing, especially data warehouse. Okay. So now, a lot more explanations we did. So now let's talk about partition is efficient. We talk about dynamic partition is there. Dynamic partition, you have to do like this way, insert into and all, which I don't encourage that because dynamic partition does every record it does evolution, right? You have to check which year, which country. So overhead is pretty high. So that dynamic, it's overhead based. In my understanding, I don't use dynamic partition. It looks simpler. Dynamic partition is sprinkler. It is very, see, this is useful when you don't want to manually specify, but it takes a little time. I think somewhere I mentioned here, limitation somewhere, yeah, too many partition can negatively impact. And I personally like static partition. So how does static partition works? So let's see the diagram. And I'm hoping it will be crystal clear. So first of all, we'll do master table. So far so good? Yes. So in master table, we will create 3 partitions. And we'll create a partition based on maybe state, Illinois, Michigan, and New York. You might have noticed that I use always 3 states because these are the 3 states I lived. So I know that. But other state I did not. But rest of the state you can create if you want to. Nothing wrong. It's not only going to work for 3. It can work for 50 states. If your country, you can work also. You can use year, you can use quarter, or you can use store also. So now, what is the intention? Intention is smart intention. If you run a query, and if you tell me the where state equal to Illinois, if you use where in WHE where state equal to Illinois, as soon as you write state equal to Illinois, listen carefully, you are actually matching partition directory. State equal to Illinois. So it will automatically go here and your query rerun and get the result. And this is beautiful, right? That's what Hive will look for. So when you write state equal to Illinois, it will go there. But if you write state equal to Michigan, it will go here and run there. So we have to educate Hive. Hive is dumb. We need to educate how many partitions are there, what is the partition. So we have to go through the master table. In master table, we'll say state will be state is the column I'm going to use for partition. And then I will create partition manually. Most of my projects, I do manual partition because normally you're not going to change dynamic. The reason only use dynamic partition if you're planning to change something or if you don't know what you're doing. But static partition is always good because if you have done database work, table created first, record will come later. Same thing, partition created first, data comes later. That's my theory. So here you will create a master table, partition column will be state, and we'll create 3 partitions. So how do we do that? So for that, step by step, we are going to create a table called state data. Okay. And in that, see, we are saying we have 3 columns, ID, code, and price, and we are using state as a partition column. And here we're going to use root, and we are creating data partition. It means we are saying master folder in Hive will be user, root, data partition. And now sub partition will be created as a subdirectory. Make sense? So this table, this is the metadata. Metadata knows that anytime when somebody use state, chances of that they might be using partition key. Make sense? But state does not know the partition key, so we are going to educate it. So this is, you know very well how to create table. The only thing I introduce in this is a partition this. Can I use multiple? Yeah, you can do comma and you can do multiple key partition as well. Now I'm creating a static partition. I'm saying, you know what? This table you have, which is the altered this table, add partition state equal to Illinois. So it will create after data partition, it will create a directory called state Illinois, state equal to Illinois. After this command, it will create a state Illinois, state New York, and state Michigan. Remember, 3 states I lived, right? But can I add more? Yeah, depends on your need. But you don't have to create all partition like that. And if I say show partition, it's going to show me the directory it created under this folder. So far, so good. Now, if I say select start from this, where state equal to Illinois, as soon as you do state equal to Illinois, Hive knows that, hey, state is used, which is the partition, and then it will say which one is matching, it matched, so it will bring data from this location. Give me thumbs up if you're understanding this portion. That's all you should know. Give me thumbs up. How partition works. First is the partition key. Then you add partition. Then you reuse partition, right? This took me a long time because I was adding state here. I didn't even realize that my column is going here. So I was adding and nothing works. I spend, and sometime it works, my data doesn't come. After a long time, I realized that, partition column, they don't want to add here. In database, this is different. In database world, if you don't create data, that column is here and you are here. So that was the difference between database partition versus this. No problem. Now, okay, if I run this thing, where is my data? Where is my data? So we are going to do structured systematical data. So first this one, what it will do? It will create table, state data, it will create table, state data, it will create a directory, data partition. Okay. Now, this one will create Illinois, which will be Illinois partition. So it will create a state equal to Illinois. It will create state equal to New York. That's all it will do. Then what we'll do, we'll create a 3 data file. We'll create data file D1, D1, and D2. We create a files. We'll create 3 files. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna put this file in Illinois, state equal to Illinois. We'll add that file. And then we run this command, then you will get the data. Then we use load command to add a file here. When I do load, it will automatically add here. So some basic things we're gonna learn. So you will understand how simple and powerful it is. I can give you guarantee, if you are going for Hadoop interview, partition will be definitely, because Hive does not work without partition. because without partition, you are going to have slow response. And every manager wants faster response. So let's get started. We're going to copy from here to here. Control C, copy here to here. Easy. Copy here to here. Control C and go back to here. I'm going to say VI student data.sql. Let's do that. Student data.sql. VI student data.sql. And it will zoom out, otherwise it won't work properly. And then I right click and paste it. Please don't forget to remove the Cloudera to root. Okay, don't forget. Sometimes you may forget, and then that's it. You don't have to change anything here. Table is there, column is there, everything is there, partition is there. These are your 3 partitions. You're going to see the partitions, run. Okay, perfect. Escape, colon WQ. You might have noticed I do a lot of things, this thing, and give you repetition so you can easily do the work. Okay. Now, always do cat command. Make sure student everything looks good. So cat command looks nice. Cat command through, I can see everything nice and clean. I hope everyone understand. We created a SQL file with all partition data. Now let's run it. So Hive -f and student, so state data, my mistake, state data. So it was student, my mistake, right? Why did student? It's supposed to be state data, but I did student. That's fine. Enter. I'm supposed to have state data.sql doesn't matter, name doesn't matter, right? So it's going to create all things for you. And you can see nicely partition is created. Give me thumbs up if you're able to run this query, and you should see the partition. So partitions are created. There is no error. Good so far? People on phone? So far, so good? Say yes, yes, no, no. Good. In case if you want to still double check, the way you double check is very simple. You just say, hey, what is the location I have? This, right? So I'm going to copy this location, right click, and copy that location. And then I'll say Hadoop, FS, Hadoop, FS, LS, Hadoop, FS dash LS, right click and paste. So you're saying, show me what you have inside that partition. And you will see 3 directly. Give me thumbs up. That is what partition means, right? You see how nicely the partitions are created. Makes sense or not? If you don't have this thing, means your previous command did not work. You say, how did it happen? State equal to state equal, because you are the one who is educating this partition. So you here, you say, you know what, add partition, because you created 3 partitions, and this one, because your starting location was here, it's automatically created subdirectory for you. Perfect, got it. So at least structure is ready. The main part is done. Now it's all simple thing. So now let's go back to the forum. So we did that partition. Now we are creating files. We are going to create a data file with simple 3. So let's copy this. We're going to create 3 files. So let's do 2 files. I think concept is pretty simple. So we're going to copy this and then create a D file. So here we're going to say gedit D and press enter. Oh, my mistake, not gedit, because you're doing VI. Sorry for that. VI D and press I for insert and right click and paste. I for insert, right click and paste. Oops. When I do zoom, things doesn't work well. So for that, need to zoom out. VID and I for insert, right click and paste it. Boom. You got that? But I have some space. That's bad part. So you have to remove the DD. DD means remove the space. Uh-oh. So what is DD means? Wherever the space is there, right? You put your cursor and first you need to do escape. Please understand, escape. And wherever your space is, you need to paste DD, DED, D 2 time D. D means delete line. Only space, okay? Don't delete the 1, 2, 3. If you keep space, it will do null, null, null. So we don't want to do null, right? Good. Now escape, colon WQ, and press enter. If you do cat D, making sure your file looks nice, beautiful, easy. So D is good. Now let's create a new file. Please understand, concept remains same. We are going to do VI and D1. D1 means data 1. Press I for insert. Go to our screen and we have data file here. We're going to copy that. Again, for conceptual purpose, we are using this data file. For some reason, there is extra space. So if you have extra space, don't cry. First, you do escape. And wherever you just empty space or empty row, you put your cursor and then DED. Remember, escape first. So escape, DED, and you remove empty space, escape, colon, WQ. W means write, Q means quit, write and quit, and double check. At this moment, we will have complete giving thumbs up that yes, my both file is good to go. Good, very good. Very nice. Right. Devon, how things going with you? Okay. Now let's check it out. So we have that. Now we're going to push file. Check it out. We're going to say, hey, put this file to this location. We are not going to use Cloudera. We're going to use root state Illinois. So we are pushing ourselves the first file which we prepared. We prepared this file D file. So we're going to do that. So we'll copy this thing. All right. Copy this. And don't forget, you need to change the location. So right click and paste. Right click and paste. When you paste it, take your cursor and make sure you change to root and press enter. So file is done. So if everything is good right now, if everything is good, if you have changed this file, the file which you create as tiny data, put it in this partition. Now, if I run that, you get the result. So Hive -E select star from where is the state data, where state equal to Illinois. You don't know the partition exists. No, state data, right? Table name was state data. What was the table? No, that's the file name. Table name is, I think, state data. So table name is state data, not a problem. Where state equal to single quotation Illinois, right? And Illinois completes. So customer doesn't know that there is a partition. So customer is going to write query just like normal database query you write. But Hive will understand, there's a table exists and get your result. Check it out. Give me thumbs up if you are able to. Because state equal to Illinois, it will understand, that's a partition key. It match it and get. Are you guys getting? Yes, no, yes, no, yes. But if I do the same thing for New York, it won't work because we don't have data. So if I do NY, it's not going to give, it's going to give me 0 result because there's no data. So that part is pretty clear that folder does not have data. So how do I do that? Same, you can do put command and it will work like that. So just like you can use up arrow, up arrow, up arrow. Here, instead of D, you're going to do D1, right? And instead of IN, you do NY. Make sense of? And press enter. So here, you're placing D1 file, which is you have, to NY location, which is New York. Now, if customer use up arrow, and instead of the query he runs, you will get the result. And customer has no clue that you did partition, but he will get a faster speed. The partition improve your query performance. Do you think this is like rocket science? Most time partition thinks you get 40 hours to do this. It's a pretty complex topic you are learning in the simplest, easiest form. Hardest topic in the Hive is a partition. Good. Question, concerns, doubt. Everybody's doing good? Awesome. Now the last topic, which is our quiz, and then we are done for the day. So let's see how much you remember. What would the first command, questions answer? Do you guys agree?
Create table. Yep.
Create table. Awesome. What's the next command? Question?
I think it's A, right?
Internal table list data upon it looks like yeah. Do you guys agree? In real life, would you use internal table? I would say no.
No.
Internal table is for dummy, POC and all. Mostly people use external table. Even Snowflake uses external table. Okay, which of the following is not a Hive data type? I believe out of these two, I think both are looks correct to me. This, I think map most likely, maybe. Yes, map. Struct may be there because it might have a structured JSON. So let's see what it's saying. Not a Hive data type. So it's a character int because you come all together they have made. Character is a separate, int is a separate. Let's see here.
Okay.
Yeah. So here, string is there, int is there, but character int together is not there. Got it. Okay. No problem. Let's go further. Okay. This sounds familiar. We studied just now.
The first one, right?
First one. So please understand when you use the one local, it will read from Linux. But if you remove the local, it will read from HDFS. Many people don't understand that. This is the local gives hint that you are reading from local. And this path is a Linux path. Good job. That part is pretty clear. Next one. This is something we just studied.
T.
Last one, look correct answer, right?
Yeah, the last one.
Awesome. This is loaded, okay?
The last one. D.
Yes. Static partition require partition value at the time of data insertion, where dynamic does not. Static partition is slower than dynamic, but it required partition value. Yeah, static partition required at the time. Yeah, that's true. You are Illinois, New York, right? Yeah, that's true. Which command? This is easy, right? Makes sense, or not? Right?
Yep.
Next one.
But appends, no, it overwrites it. The third one?
Yes, it delete first, and then it clears, right? This is the only thing Hive has, because otherwise Hadoop rule is no override, but Hive does have an override command. So good.
C. Virtual table.
Virtual.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like database concept. Honestly speaking, I don't see use case of view unless you want to rename the table name or column. In database world, you have a lot of view. You can make a view read only. You have benefit of that. But here, you can make like complex query to the simple query. You get benefit. But most people use straightforward query.
In the non-match.
Left.
Right. Wait. Matching rows from two tables and the non-matching rows from right outer join.
So which of the join?
Oh, non-matching rows.
Which of the join retrieve matching rows from two tables? Matching rows from two tables. So this one definitely they're saying.
Left.
And non-matching rows from left join.
Left.
Non-matching row from left. So I think left join, right?
Left, yeah.
Non-matching rows from left table. Looks like left join. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the difference between Hive and Pig?
Data semi-structured. Space. It's not correct. Real time, no. Semi-structured. I don't know.
I feel like it's
This is not
C or D.
right.
Okay, so let's
Hive
say
process structured data while Pig is semi-structured. That maybe looks to me, and this one is also the Hive is based on Java, which doesn't make sense to Pig. That doesn't look right. Pig is faster than Hive. That's our opinion. So this seems like right. Because Hive is more about database structure. Do you agree? Table structure. So it's a structure. You create a structure and use. And Pig does not use. Pig use. Remember, they call schemaless. Pig kind of use Pig storage and give a comma.
Yeah.
So it's a schema. Looks that look okay to me. Oh, this is easy.
Does
a single query.
Mm-hmm. Expression.
This one, run a single query. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Next.
Statements used to drop a table. Remove.
Same as.
Drop, right?
We are using that. We are not using every day. Every day we use, right? Do you agree or not?
Oh, I was thinking about how you just showed me how to use the RM. That's what made me think about remove. But okay, yeah, drop table. Got it. Okay. What is the partition key? Would it be a primary? Was it a primary key though?
B.
Column. Oh, yeah.
The column used to create the partition, right? Do you guys agree or not?
I do.
Yep.
Next one, last one.
What does?
B.
I think this looks good to me. Hive always used with the Hue, by the way, and we talked about last week. Hue is more web console, same. So, right? So I hope you can understand. That's not a rocket science. So my request to you all, I give you a project here. If you use the same structure, submit your project work, which is nothing but. I want to show you something here, just for your knowledge purpose. I have here something you can try yourself. Some command may not work exactly because I was doing lab and try. So you can try step by step, like create a directory, you follow that. This is the test data, which is tab delimited, cells 1, right? You can follow along, right? Make this directory, do this thing, create this thing, create a table. You have to change this thing to, you know what to do, right? Oops. You know what to do that, right? Then create this one is actually a project, entire project, create script, this thing, this. So try out next week. I'll cover that part in detail. If possible, if you guys can join my Wednesday class, because I will be honest with you, you won't understand all those things. This is all Linux related things, right?
Mhm.
So Wednesday class is free for you. It's the Linux. You just need to attend 4 weeks. And in 4 weeks, you will learn commands and scripting. This is all Linux scripting. This is Linux scripting. If you can join, great. 6:30. Otherwise, you can watch a recording also. When you join, you will not only attend, but you can ask question also. Okay?
Mhm. Yeah, I watched the last week.
Yeah, this is all Linux scripting. So you can run this type of command through Hive, but everything, what is all those things which are going here, all those are Linux. So it's important. Okay. And then we'll cover. So try if you can a little bit, otherwise I'll cover it next week. My one problem I'm having here, I had to explore. One thing is scope, but if it is not there, we'll do Spark. Okay,
Mhm.
we'll go to Spark. Sounds good. I'm not going to teach you all unnecessary thing. For Scoop, I'll cover like theoretical concepts, so you'll understand the use case of Scoop, because in interview people ask. HBase is there, but HBase is more about concept. There are not too much lab in there. Mongo is there, which is all concept. Zookeeper is there, or concept. So I'll cover all those concepts, so you can have comfort feeling, where to use, how to use. Those are kind of, you don't have a lab associated with that, but wherever it is lab there, I'll create lab and we'll do the exercise. Sounds good? I hope you enjoyed. That's all. Today is a shorter class for you. So you extra 30 minutes. So enjoy your Friday, and I'll see you guys. Maybe if you're available on Saturday, we are starting Python class. So those who are taking big data, especially, most of you are Iowa students. So I would encourage you to take Python class, because Spark is all Python. So if you do not know Python, how it works, I'm not going to teach Python in the class. Let me repeat. Python itself is a class. So that's why those who have taken Python class plus point, I'm not going to teach Python in Hadoop or big data. It's going to take years for me. So everything has a linkage. This is the capstone class, which is the last class for your career path, right? So Python, you must know. Database, you must know. Linux, you must know. Cloud, you must know if you come here. So in Linux class, I also teach a little bit AWS Cloud. It will be plus point. And Python, which is Saturday, 9 o'clock. Again, you are most welcome. In case if you have not received the link or something, just let Harish know. We are starting a brand new class on this Saturday, 9 o'clock. You are most welcome. Sounds good? And that's
Yep.
all. Okay.
Thank
you
you.
so much. Before
Thank
you
you.
go home, make sure you terminate your cluster. Otherwise, it's going to cost you a lot more money. So time for us to terminate. Your all lab will disappear. Okay. As soon as you terminate, your lab will disappear. But who cares? We do have all labs in our form. So we do not have to worry about it. But thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.